All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Jason David Hinn, two files, 2123786 and 2123787. Mr. Hinn is appearing by video along with his attorney, Mr. Gibson, and Mr. Gabriel, for the first time in a year, is here in court. And we all have our shots, and we've had our shots for over a month and a half, 2 months now. And so we are working our way back to normality. There is a divider between me and Anita. And even though we've both had our shots, we've been vaccinated. Everyone in the court staff has been vaccinated. So we're going to start proceeding gradually within the directives from the Supreme Court and the CDC to get back on track. With that, it's my understanding that Mr. Hinn wishes to resolve his two files with a pleas. So, Mr. Hinn, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Mr. Gabriel, what are the offers in these cases?
You're in file number 2123786. We have added an amended count of use of methamphetamine. It's our expectation that Mr. Hinn would plead guilty to that count. In return, we would dismiss the felony count 1 of possession. And included with that is the understanding that in file 23787FH, he will enter a plea of guilty to count 1, the entry without breaking of the church on Hoffman Road. In return, we will dismiss count 2, larceny in the building.
Is that correct, Mr. Gibson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hinn, I'll break it down. 2123786 currently contains 1 count of possession of methamphetamine, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison and or a fine of up to $15,000. The prosecutor has filed an amended information to use of methamphetamine, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to no more than 1 year in jail and or a fine of up to $2,000, and the court shall impose license sanctions pursuant to the statute at least through October 1st when the statute changes. And that would resolve that file. And then also in 2123787, you're currently charged with break and entering, entry without breaking with intent to commit larceny. That's a felony. It's punishable by up to 5 years and or a fine of up to $2,500. And you're also charged with larceny in a building, which is another felony punishable by up to 4 years and or a fine of up to $5,000. If you were to plead to the breaking and entering, which is entry without breaking but with the intent to commit larceny, they would dismiss the larceny in a building, and that would conclude that case. Now, is that your understanding of the agreements?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Okay. So in 2123787, this is the earlier in time case. How do you plead to the charge of entry without breaking but with the intent to commit larceny, a felony, punishable by up to 5 years or a fine of up to $2,500?
Guilty.
And in file 2123786, on the charge of use of methamphetamine, a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year and or a fine of up to $2,000 and license sanctions, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about in court today to get you to plead?
No.
Anybody threaten you to make you do so?
No.
Are you doing so of your own free will?
Yes.
You understand that if I accept your pleas in these cases, you'll not have a trial of any kind, that you'll be giving up the rights that you would have had at trial. Those include the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proved guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question the witnesses that appear against you, to have the court order witnesses you want to have for the defense to appear at trial. You'd have the right to remain silent during the trial and to not have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you want to testify. You understand you're giving up each and every one of those rights.
Yes.
You also understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal certain issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial. Further, any appeal for your conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea would be by application for leave and not by right. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. In 21-23787, it alleges that sometime between June 14th of 2020 and June 16th of 2020, you were in Fabius Township, the county of St. Joseph, in the state of Michigan. Is that true?
Yeah.
And that at that time you did, without breaking, enter a church located at 15765 Hoffman Road, Fabius Township, and that you did so with the intent to commit the crime of larceny therein. Tell me what you did that makes you guilty of that offense.
Broke in the back door of the church.
And what was your intent to go into the church for?
Whatever I've seen.
To do what?
I have no
Whatever you
reason. Sell.
Okay, so you're going to steal and sell whatever you saw from inside the church.
Yeah.
Okay. Are counsel satisfied there's a factual basis on that count?
I am, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you, the counsel, aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements in that case?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Does the court comply with the court rule in that case?
The court has.
Yes.
I find the plea made is accurate, understanding, voluntary, and there's a factual basis. I accept your plea. Do you have a restitution request, or was it all recovered?
No, Your Honor. There was one. I believe it's somewhere in the area of $400.
Okay, so,
It will be filed with the court in DLC for sentencing.
okay, thank you. So the formal restitution amount that's being requested will be filed with the Department of Corrections and notified to Mr. Gibson and Mr. Hinn as soon as possible. Sentencing is July 30th. Mr. Hinn, I need to sign an order for a DNA sample, so they'll do that at the jail. And then we will see you back here for sentencing on July 30th. Bonds cancel, we'll see you at that time. And make sure you fill out the packet the deputy's going to give you so they can do your pre-sentence report and get that all accurate and up to date. And that takes care of that case. Now let's go to the other case, 21-23786. And in this case, Mr. Hinn, you pled to the charge of use of methamphetamine. And here it's alleged that on July 8th of 2020, you did use the controlled substance methamphetamine while in the city of Three Rivers, county of St. Joseph, in the state of Michigan. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And are counsel satisfied there's a factual basis for that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are either counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements?
I am not.
No, Your Honor.
Has the court complied with the court rule?
I believe the court has.
Yes.
Okay. In this case, I can't figure out. Again, he was arrested April 1st, 2021. Okay, I don't know why there's a bond receipt in here from July 8th, 2020, where he was given a PR bond. But has he been in custody since April 1st, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get a, I don't believe I got a bond information report, so I don't know for sure.
That bond release when I got arrested.
I do
70
see a
days
bond.
jail.
Yeah.
Okay, 70 days jail. Mr. Gabriel, on this case, what do you have to recommend?
Well, Your Honor, obviously, let me go back a little bit. I don't want to mislead anybody. I'm looking at my notes, and actually the restitution is not $500. It was $5,000. There was damage to the church, and then $1,000 deductible to the church with $4,000 to an insurance company because of the lost property that was there. So I just want the parties to be aware of that, and that information was provided in the reports to Mr.
Okay.
Gibson.
So it's well over the 400, somewhere in thousands.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry about that. I think obviously, and again, Mr. Hinn doesn't have a habitual, this is kind of an indication of why meth is a problem, because there's a meth issue here, and we already heard from him on breaking into the church to find stuff to steal, to sell, which I doubt really probably wasn't for groceries, but more to fuel a drug habit. So while I'm not terribly, concerned, or obviously our office has concerns about what happens with people who get involved in meth, and this is an example, my only concern is that if we're just going to look at straight jail time ultimately on the breaking and entering charge versus probation, we need to kind of address a substance abuse issue, whether it's in this case, which of course is a misdemeanor, so we're really probably not going to do that here with felony probation, but as long as we understand that we'll probably be asking for probation in the larceny case because of the meth-driven aspect of it, I have no problem with fines and costs in this case.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Gibson?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant, I believe, has been in jail since April 1st, and the prosecutor's idea somewhat makes sense that most likely this defendant will be put on probation for the other file, and obviously, regardless of whether a file involves a drug crime, the probation department will be able to assist the defendant in making sure if he has a controlled substance problem that he can get help for that. So I would ask the court to consider just fines and costs for the use of meth. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hinn, anything you'd like to add?
I'm done with meth. I know everyone says that shit, but I have a baby coming in September, first time father. I'm changing my life around for that. That's all.
Good. Good. That's good to hear. And we will try and assist you in that goal, make sure that you have all the tools that you can to make sure that happens. All right, in this case then, 70 days jail, credit for the 70 days already served. There's the $50 state cost, mandatory state cost for a misdemeanor, the $75 mandatory crime victims' rights fee for a misdemeanor. And that'll be it for this case. There will be no additional court costs, fines, or attorney's fees. And we'll concentrate on the felony probation and the felony sentencing as it comes up. All right, Mr. Hinn, that concludes this file, and we'll see you back in July on the other file. Thank you very much.